What's happening, everybody? I got Will Moroz of Royal Canadian RCR, Royal Canadian Reptiles, in the green room. Stick around tonight. Let's get right to it. What's happening, everybody? Thank you for being here. It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 7 o'clock here in Minnesota, where the seasons have finally decided to start making sense. Like, it's beautiful. Just high of 64 degrees, sunshine, little breeze. This is why I moved. This is why we put up with the rough winters to get to this point. I hope that y'all are well. I'm doing well. I am glad to have you. We got Will Moroz tonight. He is back. He's in the green room. If you don't know Will, you should. We're going to skip all the introductory stuff and just get right to the content. But Will's been one of my favorite and most insightful guests. I learned so much from him the last time he was on the show. So stick around tonight. A few announcements. If you haven't noticed, especially if you're watching the replay, Proper Royals Lives are now brought to you ad-free. I just turned off the ads on YouTube. I heard that it was making the experience really horrible for people that listen after the fact. If you're driving down the road or you're trying to work and clean and you got to stop what you're doing to skip an ad. And then if you don't skip the ad, then you get like longer and longer, crazier ads. So because of kind people like Palm Street, or Redline Shipping, or all the other fine people from our industry that support Proper Royals, but also support the community. No more ads. They're gone. Put the customer first, right? I wish I'd thought of it sooner. To be honest, it shouldn't have taken me this long to think of it. YouTube monetization is nice and has a nice ring to it and all that, but it doesn't pay anything. And not much anyway. So I shouldn't be ungrateful for it. I appreciated the opportunity, but the value is much stronger for you guys without the ads. So enjoy. And if you're watching live, go back and watch it again. You don't have to worry about any ads if you do. Huge. I don't know if congratulations is what you say, but most certainly blessings to Matt Burton from KMB and his wife. They welcomed a new baby into the world, I believe, on Sunday. I trust all is well and that everybody's healthy. But congratulations. What a joyous time. Literally the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm not even the one that gave birth. I had the easy part. Was becoming a parent. And what a special day. Thanks for sharing the pictures. I saw them on Facebook. Matt, I hope you and your family get a little time to yourselves, a little time to enjoy this moment in time. And we'll see you when you get back to it. But like I said, many, many blessings to your family. I got a banger of a lineup coming up to kick off summertime next week. Could you imagine having Will Moroz and Garrick DeMeyer back to back? I got Garrick DeMeyer next week. Don't ask me how. All of these folks are amazing to come hang out with me. I very, very much appreciate it. So next week, Garrick DeMeyer, followed by Portuguese Pythons. Then I got Mike Johnson from Herp Collectors, buddy from early in the days of me doing this, which sounds crazy. It's only been 4 years, but I always enjoy hanging out with Mike because we always kind of pushed each other and then always kind of looked out for each other. We chat, we bounce ideas off of each other. And I think we forget to do each other's shows sometimes. So glad to have Mike back on the show. And then Shane from Small Town Exotics. So from now through July 4th, Garrick DeMeyer, Portuguese Pythons, Mike from Herp Collectors, and Shane from Small Town Exotics. So come hang out. Don't miss Tuesday nights. And again, they'll all be ad-free for you if you have to catch it on the replay as well. I know there's a ton of podcasts and a ton of content to watch. So watch it on the replay, watch it live. I like you here live because I like the comments. You know what I'm saying? But if you got to catch it on the replay, you catch it on the replay. The content and the quality will still be there. Those of you local in Minnesota, it's not reptile related, but a lot of people ask me about it all the time. I got 2 gigs this week. Thursday night, I'll be playing at the Grand in Northfield. super cool old venue, opera house from the late 1800s. It's no longer an opera house, but it's a cool theater. I'm excited to play there. I'll be playing there on Thursday night with another local band called Locktune. I'll do a solo set, and then I'll join Locktune on stage. The whole show is 3 hours, 6 to 9 p.m. that night. And then a little bit north of where I am, but still south of the cities, up in Egan, there's a pub called Egan Arms Pub. I'll be playing there from 5:30 to 8:30 on Saturday night, and that is the 31st. Yeah, must be. I think so. Anyhow, it's Saturday. So this Thursday, the Grand in Northfield, and then Saturday, Egan Arms Pub in Egan, Minnesota. Straight up 35 from me. If you haven't checked it out, properroyals.com is up to date. Please check that out. I keep the full inventory there. Only some inventory is on Morph Market. Obviously, I'm not doing the whole inventory every time I go on Palm Street. But the full inventory is there. It's updated, properroyals.com. And then, guys, I haven't pushed it lately, and I don't really know why. I still believe I believe Patreons can be and I want to talk to Will about this too, but I believe Patreons can be one of the very, very best investments that any breeder makes, but particularly new breeders or people getting serious about breeding. You get to join this community and you get this big audience. So whether I'm involved enough or too much or not enough, to what level I'm involved is far less important than what's going on in the community and those community conversations in Patreon, the business that gets done, the insight, the learning, all of that. So anyhow, I hope you'll check out the Proper Royals Patreon, but join a Patreon. Go get into one because you're going to learn and so many opportunities come up from it. Mine starts at $7 a month and goes up from there. There's a $35 tier, which that all converts to store credit. There's also a $100 tier, a one-on-one, basically a consulting tier, and that all converts to store credit as well. So anyhow, I hope you'll check it out. If you have questions, you can always message me and I'll be happy to answer them. I can't believe it. It's been July would be 2 years since Will's been on the show, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long. I still lived in Florida last time he was on the show. And that's cool in a couple ways. One way that I'm still going 2 years later. And actually, I had to look. I didn't check the date. I think May was 4 years I've been doing Tuesday nights live. I know November is when I started the channel, but I think I started the lives in May. Anyhow, so thanks for 4 years. But Will is back. And like I say, I learned a ton from him on the last show. An expression I use a lot, and I try and always credit Will, is he used the expression, you can grow into business. You don't have to go into business. And I like that idea. Like even going through my new renovations at the new facility, I had this vision there'd just be one day this grand opening, and I'm like, man, I'll never be done. I'll never be ready for a grand opening. I'm always going to be improving. There's always going to be another project, another efficiency, another aha. You just grow into it. You just get going, and one day, boom, you're in the middle of doing business or in the middle of a new facility. So I love that mindset. And like I say, I learned a lot from that episode. Another thing, when I talk about community, this is a recent story, and I don't know if Will even remembers. We were at Tinley, and we were in the hotel lobby. This was just in March. And I say that I don't know if Will remembers because it was insignificant, probably, but it was just something in passing. I was considering buying a ball python, but it was from a breeder that I wasn't all that familiar with. And that breeder's Mark Bailey. He's here in Minneapolis area, and I hadn't met him, and I've known the name and I know the mystique and the importance that he has to the history of the industry. And so I was a little, you don't just charge into those relationships, But anyway, I said, yeah, I'm looking at this snake from Mark Bailey, but I'm not sure. And Will, with no hesitation, he looked straight at me. He said, whatever the snake is, whatever the combination is, you won't find a better example than whatever you find from Mark Bailey. And that night I bought that snake. I went back to the hotel room and I bought that snake. And even more important to the story is Mark and I struck up a pretty cool relationship. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for knowing Mark, and I'm thankful for the encouragement from Will for instigating that. So enough of me talking about him in the third person. Please welcome back to the Proper Royal stage, Will Moroz. Will, how
What's
you
going
doing?
on, man?
Not too much, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you in many ways. So it's cool to be able to hang out tonight, man.
Hell yeah, dude. It's always
Yeah.
fun.
I don't know if did you remember having that conversation about Mark with me? It had to be 2 a.m, man. We were late.
Then definitely not, bro. Yeah. But it's true. It's true. It's
Yeah.
Mark's a great guy. Mark's, a very good friend of mine. A good friend of a lot of everybody, he's just a solid person all around. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
great snakes. I have lots of snakes from Mark, and yeah, I stand by it. Yeah,
No, it was cool. Like, when somebody says something and like they haven't even had time to think about if they're trying to like screw with you, it was just like, boom, you won't
just
find a
do
better
it.
one. Just
Yeah,
do it. I was like,
yeah.
okay, man. Well, then I'm going to go for it. And Mark's been very gracious, and he keeps up with me, and which he doesn't have to do. He's got plenty to keep himself occupied. So it's pretty cool. I appreciate it, man.
What a wealth of knowledge, Mark. I mean, holy. He'll call me like, "How's your season?" He's like, because Mark always runs like, excuse me, like basically 2 months ahead of me.
Okay.
And so he'll call me and say like, "I'm getting ovulations. That means yours are building. You're going to be 2 months later." And like every year it's the exact same thing. He's 2 months ahead of me, 2 months later. Then I'm calling him, "Dude, I'm getting all these ovulations." Yeah. It's yeah. What a great guy.
No, he was cool. And I learned, I don't know. You learn so much just spending time with people, even if it's only a couple hours, which these days is like a lifetime. Sometimes people don't spend an hour or two with people, but yeah, I learned a lot. I've changed a couple things that I do. And then he encouraged me. We'll see how it goes. He gave me the confidence to, automate all of my rodent watering, which I've heard horror stories of floods and all of that, so I have like these nightmares, but it's going great. There's not been a single issue, not a drip of water where it's not supposed to be.
Well,
so
dude, like again, like a guy that you can take like snake advice. I can't think of someone better. And then the rodent advice, like he's got 30 years experience breeding rats at a commercial level. Like just when it comes to the reptile industry, like he's done it all. So it's, when I kind of take what Mark says as gospel. He's like, "No, don't do that." I'm like, "Okay, never mind. I won't do that." Like it's been there, done that. And I trust his opinion, so yeah.
Well, anyhow, you likewise have been, like I say, inspiring to me. I see the animals that you work with and that you produce. You've been generous with your time, and then your insight is also like, there's no BS to what you've shared. And anyway, so I appreciate that. What aside from life outside of snakes and geopolitics, and God, I bet Americans and Canadians, we could have a blast on a field day on that. What's changed? What do you see change over the past 2 years in our world of snakes? It's I wish I'd invited you back sooner. On the other hand, 2 years is a long span of time to look back.
2 years like that. I remember.
Yeah, right.
Holy. What's changed? Oh boy, lots has changed. Panic has set into the market.
Okay.
That's kind of.
Has it set into you?
No.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. This is like, it's not. There are other days where I'm like, "God damn, like why are you selling that so cheap?" Like, of course, who's not gonna have those days? But at the end of the day, I look at this and I'm like, look, this is my full-time living. This is what I do for a living. What are my alternatives? If I want to quit doing this and say like, "You know what? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." What is my alternative right now? Like I could go back to work, but I remember
right.
not liking that whole lot.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
I remember that. So yes, you're going to have your days where, it's things don't go well, or you don't get the sale you had hoped for, or this or that. But all in all, this is still an incredible industry to be in. And I'm actually more excited than I've been in a long time. I think you're going to see a lot of people get out. I think you're going to see a lot of, breeders that jumped into this, not necessarily for the wrong reasons, but just like, I think a lot of people jumped into this not really grasping the amount of work that's involved with this and the amount of time that needs to be involved with this. This isn't a 3-year turnaround thing. This isn't like I buy my snakes from Justin and in 3 years I have a Porsche. Like it's not it's not quite, it doesn't quite work that way. But I'm excited. I think there's a lot of positive to come. At the end of the day, the animals speak for themselves. Cool animals will always sell. I don't care, crazy animals will always sell for a lot of money. It's just the way it goes. And I think what's happened is people are like, their perception of what's crazy, what was crazy in 2022 is no longer crazy in 2025. Yeah. But I think a lot of people still have that, like, but in 2022, this was $15,000, so it should still be an expensive snake. Well, no, the market moves pretty quickly. And with shed testing and everybody implementing shed testing, it's things move quicker with shed testing. And it's like, it's an awesome thing. There's times I don't like it. There's things about it I'm not a huge fan of, and I've voiced my opinion on that many times.
I remember that last time. Yeah,
but it is what it is. It's here to stay. Right. It's not going anywhere. So use it or that's
you're gonna use it behind, right?
Yeah, use it because it's there. And you know what? It is fun. It is kind of fun. It's you hatch a clutch and like, oh, I hope this one's het clown or this one's double head, and then you get your shed testing back, and it's almost like cutting the clutch all over again. You're like, I get nervous when I get the shed. I know. Email, I'm like, oh, I don't want to look at this. Yeah.
Charlie likes to do them live on the show with me. I'm like, all right, come. Like I don't know. I'm looking at my fridge. I hang them on my fridge with these little magnet hooks. Like I've probably got 20 sheds, and I'm like, I'm going to send it, but we're going to have to do an episode where he's like the Maury Povich. This is a hat. This is
not the father. Yeah. Gut wrenching when they don't prove, but
I know.
It is what it is. At least you don't spend 3 years raising them up like we used to.
That's true. And I mean, that's something you had talked about last time where, the world just changed really, really fast for the breeders that have been doing that for a long time. But so I guess actually, and I kind of like your outlook, like it doesn't matter if we feel like it's good or bad. It is, and it's the world we live in. So you got to deal with it. Yeah.
Adapt or die, basically, it's like saying, I don't like electric vehicles. Well, they're here.
They're here. Yeah.
They're fucking bad. It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, do you like it now? But actually it doesn't matter. I guess it's just another tool or something.
Like if I could push a button today, like if I could just push this button and poof, it's gone and no one does it and it's not, I'd push it. But I can't. And it is what it is. Use it.
Did you see it as like a strength, like like if you have space and you have facility and you have snake and you don't have another full-time job to go to, I know snakes are plenty full-time job. Did you see that as like a leg up because without testing, you needed to be able to hold back so many more. You had to take so many more risks over a longer period of time. So was the space and the volume a leg up for you?
Yeah. When you're producing, and I can't even speak to like higher production, but when you're producing 70 clutches. I kind of do about between 60 and 80 clutches, I would say on average.
Yeah.
And even in those clutches alone, like I'm testing a lot out of them, like a lot. And so what I've found is stuff that, well, it goes both ways. It goes like stuff that I normally would have kept that I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll keep this and try and prove it out. Then those stuff I normally would have kept is stuff that I end up letting go, and stuff that I normally would have let go, I end up keeping because it ends up proving het. It's like, it's kind of, it's sort of flipped, right? Like sometimes normally if I hit a clown 66 het desert ghost, 66 het pied, 66 het axanthic, I probably wouldn't have kept that female. But now I can test it, and if it ends up being a double het or a triple het, then yeah, it's a pretty good female to keep. So, and you can start to breed with shed testing in mind now. Like you can, it's completely changed the way that I even pair.
Right.
Like as I start to approach the pairing of the season, I'm doing things in a completely different way because I used to need the visual clown, right? Now I can use a wicked double het clown or triple het clown and go into, if I can find a triple het, a really good combo triple het DJ Xanthic clown or whatever the project may be, and then run back into some really good DG clowns. Well, now I can test out Xanthic.
Right.
Yeah. And just really, really quickly advance things. So it's good. It has positives and negatives, but at the end of the day, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. You get used to it, and it's basically, I don't even quit bitching about it. It's here. I need to quit talking about it. It's like, just use it. Yeah.
So do you find yourself focusing more or breeding more on recessives? I should back up. I'm assuming you use the shed testing primarily for recessives rather than
for the most part.
Okay. So do you find yourself now, even whether you mean to or not, do you find yourself that you end up focusing more on double, triple, however many recessive projects?
That was the direction we were going before shed testing anyway, right? So shed testing just kind of sped up what we were keeping, what we would let go of, what would we hold back, what do we not hold back. So that it just sped that thing up. But one of the things that I don't think enough people really grasp yet is recessives get easier and easier and easier the further along we go. This year, it's hard to make a DJ Xanthic clown pod. Next year, it's 50% easier. The following year, it's another 50% easier. The following year, now I'm hitting them at a 1 in 4 rate, as you start to load up your double visual double hats and triple visual hats and start to accumulate that stuff, hitting the quad or hitting the triple or the double or whatever becomes easier and easier and easier. Where oddly enough, the stuff that has fixed odds are your incomplete codoms.
That is funny. Actually, I never thought of it that way. You're right. Yeah.
Right. That's the stuff that has your fixed odds, because you can do things to make it a bit easier. You can use I need a super red stripe that'll throw all red stripe. It's a recessive at that point, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But there are certain ones that it doesn't matter, like your allelic combos and your stuff where it masks ivories. It's it masks what's in it, so you have to test a bunch of stuff to find out what's in it. But Pompeii, right? If we use that specific set of genes, black pastel, spot nose, yellow belly, and red stripe,
right?
Only 2 of those genes have viable supers. Super spot nose and super black pastel, you don't really want them. Yeah. Where ivory will mask super red stripe, so you wouldn't know unless you shed tested anyway. So there's no real easy way to stack an animal to make Pompeii easier to make.
That's the ultimate beauty of the Pompeii, right? There's the visual beauty.
Of all that stuff.
If you could draw a formula of how something will keep its value, it's the Pompeii. You're not pumping out another one in a linear.
It's hard to make, man.
Yeah.
That specific thing, that's a 4-gene combo with clown on it. That becomes fairly. You got to take a bunch of shots to hit that.
Right.
Whereas back in the day, you would say oh my God, to hit a DG clown, the odds are insane. Well, not anymore. I can make entire clutches of DG clowns. It's easy to make. I can't make entire clutches of Pompeiis. I can't make entire clutches of Krakens or whatever the combo that you're going to throw out there.
Yeah.
Those type of things are what's going to maintain your value. And it's not going to be, I think we're going to drift away from just quad stacking, triple stacking, just recessive. I think the market is going to get to that point where we hit that kind of peak recessive hype, and then it's going to taper back off, and it's going to become the right recessive genes mixed with the right incomplete dominant genes. Not just incomplete dominance, the right ones. You start to get into chocolate spot nose DJ Xanthic clown combos. Those are going to be no-brainer, fantastic, right? Super dark, super good contrast, black and white. It's going to look bananas. the right genes are where your value is going to be in 5 years, because everything else is going to continue. The recessives are going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper every single year. We just need to hope for new recessives to come out, new
That's
combos to
true.
do something
Yeah,
crazy.
there's something new
and
coming
just get
along.
easier and easier and easier to make as time goes on. But the Pompeii stays the same. It doesn't get any easier. And then when we start to say like, oh, we want to make it DG and DG Axanthic, the odds become absurd, right? Now, for now, but we will get to a point where making a Pompeii DG Axanthic clown is the same odds as making a Pompeii, right?
Because the recessives will be there.
Visual to visual and this to this, you know, so it gets easier and easier. But those incomplete dominants are where your value is going to be, which is so ironic because everybody rushed to recessives as their value hold. Well, as soon as shed testing came out, all those recessives are incomplete dominants.
Yeah,
they're just hidden behind a paywall.
Yeah,
like I paid $50 and I know if it's head or not, you know. So realistically, that's just the truth. And I don't now. I can treat Het Monsoon now like it's Enchi. I can just pick Enchis out, but I can just pay $50 for the clutch and test them and know which ones are Het Monsoon. It works the exact same way as an Enchi would, right? 50% of them should be Het Monsoon, you know, yada, yada, yada. If it's on both sides, 74% or 75%, one should be the visual. It's, you know, it becomes pretty straightforward. It's, yeah.
That was a masterclass of like looking forward, but also a simplification. We get so lost in it's 0 copies, 1 copy, or 2 copy. That's it. And the scenario that goes with each one. And that's all that it is. And you're right. Why I chuckled when you said it's just hidden behind a $50 paywall. Like it's the simplest outlook, but it's the most accurate, really way to put it as well. I've seen sort of a trend lately, and I can't say I haven't been at this long enough for this to say that I've benefited or hurt from this trend, because it's not a sandbox level that I've been playing in the time that I've been around. The breeder, one visual het this, possible this with like one really cool hip codom. I feel like that demand had, even just in the past 6 months to 12 months, it feels like that demand has dropped way off. I think some of the other demands, and you probably have a better outlook on it than I do, but from what I hear and see other people doing and selling at the shows that I go to, or talking on the show here, or just going to shows that I'm not selling at, I know it seems so easy, but there's so much value in just a badass looking animal, regardless of the other stuff. Like,
yeah, I was funny you mentioned that, because we were talking in the Patreon, I don't know, a couple months, maybe a month ago. And we were talking like, do you think that the ball python industry will ever get to, I don't know what this is, but I call it the such and such, the Oreo or the whatever. And this is what it is. I don't know how I can recreate this, but look at this thing. Like that is where I think we could start to see things go. And it's gene based, not lineage based, like a lot of other species. But I think there's a chance for the industry to have a bit of a shakeup again. You know, Justin, during when I was getting in 2008 and 9, 10, 11, 12, you know, the industry was very codom like driven. It was the recipe, the success was buy the most expensive codom, run it through your rack, kill that male because you bred him so friggin' heavily, and hatch out a gajillion bananas or a jillion GHIs or a jillion whatever, and sell those all for $5,000 a piece. You know, that was the like recipe for success. And Justin turned that on its head single-handedly, man. Like there's no one that can convince me otherwise. He went out and said like clown, man, I remember like pastel clown, pastel lesser clown, and people saying like clown's dead, man. Look at it, pastel lesser clown. That's basically what you can do with it. It's always a striped animal, blah, 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 blah. You know, And Justin went out and started working with clown and leopard clown, spot nose clown, Batman's, bliss, and showed like the progression of what clown was capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is really what, like, again, Justin would be able to talk way better than this than I can, but from my perspective, that is kind of what like propelled him, just like being different, like not following, going against the grain, you know, like that is what made Justin into Canova, you know, like that is really where, because if Justin had of just said, I'm going to do the Kodam thing, he'd probably be just like every other 18-year-old, 20-year-old breeder, you know, just like everybody else, everyone doing the exact same thing. And I have really tried to take inspiration from that and be like, look, that is what made Justin JKR. Like that's what put JKR, not just that, his work ethic, his videos, like his marketing. There's a lot more to it than just doing different shit. Right. But the different thing was that main thing. Like Justin would put a combo out and you're like, dude, people don't even have the hets for this yet. He's right. You know what I mean? Like, you're just so like
far ahead,
3, 4, 5 years ahead of what, and he's seeing his vision out. And I've tried to model my collection, not after Justin, but after that, like kind of mindset where you like, I try to do different stuff. People say all the time, why the fuck are you pairing those together? Like, what are you doing with that? Yeah, but man, I just like trying it. And if it works, awesome. And if it doesn't, okay, I burned the clutch. No big deal.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I just think that there's like, I think people need to try new stuff. I think I look around the industry, everyone's making the same shit. Everyone's heading the same direction. It's been like this for 10 years where Justin makes combo, everyone goes for that combo. Not that that's a bad thing, because generally they look fucking awesome. Let's be serious. But I like seeing those guys that are like, I'm going to try something different. It might work. It might not. I would be willing to bet you Justin has way more misses than he does hits. Way more snakes that he thought would look cool that, that one didn't really pan out. We'll retweak it and try something else. You know, I'm sure there's way more of that stuff than there is the like bangers, you know?
Oh, of course. And I think, actually, I know almost any successful person I've talked to says, you only hear about the amazing stuff. Or if you hear about the ultimate failure, then of course, you know, if it's the total destruction, of course you hear about it. But yeah, we don't advertise that. We don't talk about, you know, it wasn't like, hey, Adam, why do you love restaurants? Oh, well, I love getting kicked in the nuts at 2 a.m. when
I love scrubbing plates, man. It's
right. It's just great. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Right.
Like we don't advertise. Like, I mean, I don't hide it, but I also I don't go make a YouTube video about it. If I hit something amazing, that's what I go make a YouTube video about. Yeah. Do you think to going back to some of the theme of sort of a changing how things are, or changing of sort of a direction, combined with so many people that we hear leaving. Now, a lot of the people we hear leaving, I think, to your point, they didn't realize how hard it was, or they're blaming a tough market on the hard work they have to do, or whatever it is. They're the short timers that went on, kind of my era. But I also see there's a lot of dudes that have been at it 10, 15, 20 years hanging it up for solid reasons. Hey, I want to be able to go to Tahiti for 2 weeks and not worry about animals while I'm there. Okay, that's wonderful. I get it. If you've made your money, you're happy. But that convergence seems like there'd be a massive opportunity in the form of less supply, less competition, and an opportunity to refocus sort of the industry. Is that something you've seen or felt yet, or not yet?
I think so. I think I've had the conversation with a bunch of, like, I would say smaller guys, relatively like under 5 years in the industry type of thing. And they get discouraged really easily, like really, really easily, because it's like, if you spend $8,000 on your first like big male, and then you see it 3 years later for 2, you're like, what did I do? Like, am I the sucker that's left holding the bag? But I can promise you that the most money if we're talking financial reasons only,
Right.
the best return I've ever got on anything is always from that snake's grandbabies. The snake I invested that big money in, I'm not that worried about what he returns. I'm not worried about his offspring. His offspring are what I want to keep, right? That's why I bought the male.
Yeah.
I buy the male to start a project, to start an avenue, to start a branch in your collection. And that's once those babies are of size and producing for you, now it's like, okay, now it's time to pick the right fruit or whatever the phrase you want to use. It's a tough one, man. I think there's a huge opportunity for some smaller guys to really jump ahead of this. Any business there is, like 9 out of 10 are going to fail, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just if you can be that 1 out of 10, man. If you can just be that 1 out of 10 where you're like, I'm going to stick this out. I'm not taking no for an answer. Every business has to have that, like, you got to have a bit of that, like, dog, like a bit of that, like, I'm not going to fail. Like, I'm going to make this work. Times are going to get tough. Things are not going to go your way. The odds are going to be whatever. The market's going to do this. There's so many excuses for you to hang it up. If it's not for you, take any one of those excuses and hang them up. No one's going to be like, oh, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you have that, like, I'm not letting this, like, I'm not taking this I'm not taking no for an answer. Like, I'm making this work. Dude, all the most successful business people in the world don't take, it's like, how many times did those guys fail? How many times did those guys get kicked in the face? Right. Like, all the time. But they just get back up and, okay, well, let's try it again. And that's it's I think this is still a wildly lucrative business. Wildly.
I still, and like, this isn't the world that well, maybe it is, but I mean, it's not the world that you're known for, but I still am amazed when I hear, like, people, like, get down on somebody willing to sell bananas or $250 to $500 snakes. And I'm like,
why?
do you know how many hours I worked in my life to make $500 before?
Dude, lots of people, they work a full week more. I know. 2 full weeks of work to make
American dollars, man. Yeah. Like, it's unreal. And I'll go to, like, these shows and I don't know. I'm really thankful now. I feel like a good show for me on a Sunday afternoon. I did $1,800, and I don't know. Somebody was like, "Yeah, well, I wouldn't get out of bed for that." I'm like, "Dude, you and I sleep in different beds, then, man. I get out of that every day if I could. I would do that.
Yeah, bro.
52 weekends a year. I would do that for that. So, like,
absolutely. Maybe
I just came from a different place. Just different experience, or maybe I just didn't get the invite to the big money party. I don't know, but, like, I'm pumped, and I get, like anybody, you could get down. Oh, I didn't close a sale today, or this inquiry wasted a bunch of my time, blah, blah, blah. But then, like nothing, somebody will be like, yeah, I'll take the $400 snake, no problem. And I'm like, God, do you know how hard I've worked in my life for $400, like, so
yeah, dude.
I'm really still excited. And just in that matter, screw the 4,008, 12,001. I'll get there. I'll figure those out too.
Those are gravy on top. But yeah, like your bread and butter is going to be, like, dude, there are guys who make their entire living selling $300 snakes, $200 snakes.
Yeah.
That's, bro, if you can sell a couple $200 snakes, let's say daily.
Oh,
bro.
I know. I've had that.
Like, let's be serious,
There's a buddy I have in Wisconsin. We talk every time we see each other. We say one $200 snake a day, man. And like that, like, we'll be loading in and be like, all you got to do is sell one every day. If you just average one a day the whole year, and you're not going to get filthy rich at that level, but you could survive,
Dude, 100%. You keep the lights on, you keep the rap bill page, you keep everything going. It's 100%. Yeah, 100%. I don't understand this. Like, I have heard people tell me, "Oh, I didn't get into this business to sell $500 snakes." And I'm like, okay, then figure out how to sell the $5,000 snakes.
Yeah,
right. But don't turn your nose up at the guys selling the $500 snakes, because at the end of the day, not everybody comes from the same, like, not at the end of the day, everyone's collection is going to be in a different spot. Everyone's going to have a different amount to get started. Everyone's going to have a different amount to a different experience level, a different infrastructure level, like different space requirements, the different shit going on in their life. So I try not to judge the guys making, you want to breed bananas to enchies and sell banana enchies, or make entire clutches of banana pieds. I personally don't do that, but I have no problem with anybody doing that. And in fact, it's a great way while you're doing all your holdback stuff and trying to build up all your stuff. A lot of that stuff is like not for sale, right? It's your, you got to be your best customer. Hey, I have no issue with you saying, I'm going to breed a banana clown to a black pastel clown and just sell them all. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Honestly, that's why I breed so many rodents. I breed way more rodents than I need. It keeps the lights on, keeps the reinvestment money coming in, and keeps me occupied while I sit there with the comments are always great. While I sit there for 2 or 3 years, trying to get where I want to go to. You brought up a good point earlier too. I don't know if you do this on purpose. There's a ton of themes of stoicism in what you're saying. What's my alternative? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It just is. You can't change this or that. I really relate to the Stoic outlook. But you mentioned earlier too, like, what's the alternative? Am I going to go back to the thing that I was really good at, that made everything in life I owe to restaurants, but I came to hate it, and I was in an incredibly unhealthy place. I loved it for a long time. I got to where I hated it, and I was so good at it. I never learned. There's nothing else. It's this or restaurants, and this is just fine for me for right now.
Like that saying, like, I don't know if you're much of a golfer, but like a bad day on the golf course beats a good day at work.
Yeah, exactly.
A bad day in the snake room beats a good day in the office. Yeah. It just does. Yep. There's just I've had bad days in the snake room. I've gone in and a good clutch is slugged out, or I've lost a female, or like just shit that happens, and it's that sucks. No question. That sucks. That's a shitty day. But would I trade that in to go back to sit in an office and punch in and sit in fucking traffic on the way to work and blah? Dude, I remember all that.
Oh, commuting? Oh, throw it away. Get rid of it.
And like, my obviously, I like, dad is still fairly involved with everything, so like he keeps me pretty honest about it, because I have my days where I bitch and complain, and and he'll be like, all right, go ahead, man, sell it, get rid of everything, and I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, but like once you do, like, you got to figure out something, you go back to work or something. I was like, oh no, fuck that. I'm just complaining, man. I'm not actually, I'm just bitching, man. I'm not actually, it's just not that bad.
Here. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just having a day. Let me go out and, kick a bucket around or something. But
yeah, exactly.
But it's not, yes, sales are down. Yes, there's a quiet time in the market. But you know what this time reminds me of? This reminds me of that like 2014, 2015 kind of timeline. After about 2012, we had the big Kodum bust where everything went down to what people were saying the market is over. Dude, the market's been over since the day I started. And that was in 2008. So, it's like everyone's saying like the stock market's going to crash. Stock market's going to crash. Every fucking year the stock market's going to crash. And do you have drawbacks? Do you have crashes? Sure. But zoom out, bro. It's like,
10% through recessions, through the Great Depression, through
zoom out.
Wars, everything.
And the ball python industry is like that too. Zoom out. Like when I started this was on forums. This was like, I had to go to King Snake. It was like it was difficult to do. I had to email for availability lists, people don't understand that. People coming in now, all they know is COVID, right? That's all they know. Where before it was not, it was not what everybody thinks we have today, like podcasts and everybody knows everybody and and all the, and there's Morph Market and there's this and there's shipping worldwide no, bro, that was not like this at all. So people don't realize where it's come, and that's been in what, like 15 years. Give it another
Yeah.
15. Where are we there? Like, so yes, we're going to have peaks and we're going to have valleys. But if you zoom out and look at this on a long-term trajectory, it's going nowhere but up. People are going to tell you right now, market's dead, blah, 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 overproduction, blah, blah. Dude, I heard these exact same things in 2011 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15. Like it just, but you know what happened after I'm going to say like probably 2014, maybe 2013. Someone came out, and that was Justin, and brought that excitement back. And there is an opportunity for someone to do that again. There's someone's gonna come out and be like, yo, I'm gonna like, we're gonna change up the way that we do things, and we're gonna go a different direction, and this is what I'm gonna do. You guys can do it the old way, you guys can do it a different way, but this is what's how I'm gonna move things forward. And I think there's an opportunity for that to happen again. I'm not saying it's the next Justin. I'm just saying I think the market's just waiting for that excitement again. It's waiting for that like next, like, holy shit, I'm excited. And
right. Which way to turn? Where
I'm feeling it like
follow?
Again.
Yeah.
For a couple years, man. Like, it's been like I haven't been like super pumped. I've had a year or two of just kind of like restructuring, retooling things, making new hats. So nothing like wildly visual. And this coming season's like a very, very it has
nice.
Crazy good year. So like I'm excited again. It's the market's waiting for a good stash. Yeah, let's go, bud. Yeah. Adam can grow a stash if I've ever seen one.
Me, Adam, or Beach Bum?
Beach Bum. Well, I can tell you can too.
I got some. Yeah, we did you probably know Danny Rocha at Portuguese.
Oh, dude, that guy's got a caterpillar on him.
So for his year on 15 Minutes of Lame, I did a promo with him. But I had grown a big beard from like September all the way. I mean, I can grow some hair. And I did a reel where I just tried to have Danny's mustache. I'd shaved it just into Danny's mustache. And, turn around. Anyway, maybe it'll return. I actually don't. I'm good. My facial hair, when I don't like sweaty facial hair. It's disgusting to say. I don't like when I sweat and I have facial hair. I had to get rid of it. So anyway, let's talk about some of the things that you are working and maybe even I'm curious to know about where your excitement's at on Puzzle. But when you talked about something new that's going to excite the market, something that people hadn't seen before, Puzzle kind of came to mind. There's some other, there's
potentially,
there's sunset out there. Of course, there's monsoon. There's, who knows what's going on with this tornado thing in the next 5 years.
Honestly, man,
go ahead.
I don't even think it needs to be a specific combo or a gene or anything that needs to excite the market. I think it needs to be someone. Like it needs to be a person that's like, I'm fucking pumped about this. Let's get this going again. Yeah. Everybody that's been dragging their feet, fucking get your knees up. Let's go. We're going again, or stay back there because we're moving forward.
Right.
Fuck it. Like let's go. Let's make this fun again. Make ball pythons great again. Here
we go. But no, I think you're right, and I think I'm glad you clarified that it's a person. It's at the end of the day, like. All of these businesses, all of these interactions, it's the people that make it cool. Like the snakes are very, very cool, of course, but the people are like the cherry on top. I think that's really, I think that's a good way to look at it. What you talked last time that we talked that the market had seemed to become just so focused or myopic on like pieds and clowns, and now I see
like it's changing.
Not so much pieds, but I see clowns still kind of have this foothold. But then there's just super cool things. And I think you're doing some amazing stuff with Puzzle. What gets you going on Puzzle? Where do you see that going?
Dude, I think Puzzle is like in its infancy still.
I think it has to be. Yeah.
I mean, people are still like, people are already going like, oh, we got to go DG Hypo Puzzle. Like, bro, I want to make like just a hurricane spot nose puzzle. Like, like chill out. Don't get me wrong. I want to do the DG. I'll do the DG Hypo puzzle too. But like I said, those recessives get easier and easier every year.
They'll be there and they'll be cheaper too,
and they'll
right?
be easier to get and easier to do. The incomplete dominance. That's my focus with Puzzle right now, is focusing on finding like that combo works. This combo doesn't. That one, okay, if I add spot nose to this, wow, look at this one, you know? But not just puzzle, man. It's just like we're getting to this point in ball pythons now where absolutely everything has the potential to be insane looking. Like, and if we could just go back 8 years, like 8 years ago, we were like, everybody was like stoked about just the DG clown, right? Yeah. And look how fast people are like, yeah, DG clown. Yeah, I've seen that already. Yeah, I've seen those before. Right. Yeah, sure. Because once you see it, it kind of like, yeah, okay, what's next? We have this like, in this industry is very flavor of the month. Like what's next?
Oh, it's fickle, isn't it? Super. Man, yeah, forget stuff immediately.
Which is why when I see a gene get hot, unless you've already got it, and if you're trying to trend chase, unless you've already got it and are making them when it's hot, chill, because it's in 3 years, you know, we'll be on to the next thing or the next cool thing. But yeah, to circle back, like what's gonna be cool? I don't know exactly what will be cool.
Oh, well, I know. What excites you, though? I don't expect you to. I'm not going to hold you to your crystal ball.
Oh, man.
Just what gets you going?
Dude, progression gets me excited. Seeing stuff like move forward. Yeah. You know, there's so much stuff that I want to see still. And you'll talk to me in 3 years from now, and I'll be even more excited. There's not many businesses where you get more excited the longer now it's my females that I'm 3 or 4 gens in now. So it's like I produce the males, I produce the females. Now the collection's really starting to go a direction that like I see it going. Maybe is it the right call? Don't know, right? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I'm sure, even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. So gotta hit something.
If it's totally new, totally different, and you're thinking of pattern, color, and contrast, you're going to find the cool stuff.
Something's got to be there, right?
Something's going to be there, yeah.
Something's going to do it.
That's my belief. I mean, you have a lot more experience than I do, but that's really where I think like I love walking through expos going, what is that? Like having no clue what it is.
Yeah.
And it's been a year now, but I was at the Colorado AARP show, the very first one. And I walked by a booth. I had no idea what it was. I said, is that the right price? It was $1,400, nothing massive. And he says, yeah. I said, is that codoms, recessives? What is that? And he said, actually, it's mostly just codoms. I said, and it's a male? He said, yeah. I said, I'll take it. You don't even have to tell me. And of all things, it was a Mackenzie Highway combo that just,
oh, hell yeah.
It just looked so cool.
Different stuff.
Yeah. And I guarantee people would go, why did you pay that for Mackenzie? And then you found out it wasn't even the same as zebra. I didn't buy it because I thought it was zebra. I bought it because it stopped me in my tracks and inspired me not only for what it is, but for what I think I can do for it. And then the male just made it even better. I was like, well, give me that thing. Let's go.
Yep. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to do that. Like I'm very, very excited with some of the super hurricane stuff coming up.
Oh yeah.
I really like that combo. Like, and then you can treat it like a recessive basically.
Right.
I don't even have a clutch yet. And I'm hyped up. I don't even have an eggs down yet. So like guys are hatching eggs. I'm like, oh, come on, let's go. But yeah, man, I think there's going to be some cool stuff. Tri-stripe is one that I like. That one's a mega wild card for me.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people, it's just the same people over and over. Oh, tri-stripe clown. Oh, it's a waste of time. Blah, blah, blah. Like, sure, it might be a waste of time for you, but have you put hurricane and spot nose and confusion and red stripe and yada yada? Have you mixed that stuff in there? If not, let's wait and see how that goes. Let's get there. And I'll be the guy to do it. I have no problem doing it. That is like what excites me. That's the dude, what is this gonna do? Like, I have no idea. Maybe it's complete dud. Maybe it's crazy. Don't know. But that's where I'm headed. I'm going to do like crazy tri-stripe clown combos and DG Axanthic puzzles and DG hypo puzzles. But when I get to those combos, they're going to be like the right genes. So those are some of the things I'm after this year. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much, dude. So much. Some of the hypo clown stuff. I
I,
I I slept on hypo clown for a long, long
I
time.
think people skipped over hypo clown way too fast, man.
Yeah, yeah. I slept on it for a long time, and about 4 years ago, I bought a really good hypo clown male, ran it into some good het clown females, made a good selection of clown het hypo girls, and like I bred them all this year. So
Yeah. Oh, nice.
there's some good hypo clown stuff coming. So DG, I see Beastmore saying DG Tri-Stripe. I agree. DG Tri-Stripe's insane. I'm shooting this year for a super OD white lace Tri-Stripe. Let's see if we can get something like that going. Like what I think white lace, again, everyone goes white lace clown, which obviously great direction, beautiful combos. But white lace on the other avenues is where I'm like, oh, okay, I want to get into the white lace puzzle combos and Tri-Stripe combos and you name it combos. This year will be the first year I get to breed any of the, I don't know if you're familiar, I have a gene, I guess, called Chaos that it popped up in my collection. It appears to be recessive. I don't know that for sure yet. It's either a very subtle super, like a subtle incomplete dominant that has a very visual super, or recessive. But I mean, at the same time,
that's kind of,
it is what it is. Yeah,
it's one or two copies. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I'm excited about that. This year will be the first year I'll have a visual chaos to what I have produced as hets and visual to visual. So if I can get visual to visual and everything is visual and visual to het and half of them are visual, I know what we're working with.
Then you'll know, yeah.
So that's one I'm pretty excited to see happen. What else? Dude, just you name it, man.
Oh, I know the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
This is probably a whole different rabbit hole that maybe we don't need to go down into, but I heard somebody say, and I've thought about it a lot, like if people just worked what was already in their collection, like the possibilities are nearly endless just with that. I mean, the mathematical possibilities of what's out there is incredible. We can never attain it all.
We try and touch, like everyone is not everyone, but lots of people are a jack of all trade, master of none. Right? It's like I do a little Ultramel clown and I do a little puzzle and I do a little dreamsicle and I do like all of these projects that don't like mesh, you know?
Yeah.
Where that's something I've been trying to focus on is like having, DG Axanthic, DG Hypo, DG Tri-Stripe, DG Puzzle, DG Clown, DG like Axanthic Clown, DG, and like they can all kind of like tie in together.
Yeah.
That's something I've been trying to focus on. It's hard because not everything works with each other, right? So that's a little tricky. But like, dude, I'm convinced of it. I've had people fight me on this, but I am fully convinced of it that you could say, like, I'm gonna be the super hurricane guy. I'm gonna work super hurricane, and I'm gonna make all the cool super hurricane combos. And I got Super Hurricane White Lace and Super Hurricane Super OD and Super Hurricane Spot Nose OD Thread Stripe and this and that. And you just show people what's possible with what you see, right? Where you could build in a fairly small collection. Like if you dedicated one rack to like Super Hurricane combos or Super Blackhead combos or Chocolate Spot Nose combos or Super pastel combos, for fuck's sakes, if you wanted to do that, anything you want, if you use your vision and use what you think is going to happen, like, take what you believe and manifest it, make it happen, show people why they should be excited about what you're making, you're going to do well, right? Like,
I take your challenge. I've started, and just 5 years, I want us both to be sitting here again. And I promise you, now I might fail at it, but I will succeed at being known as the super gravel guy.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go.
I might have super gravel Axanthic clowns. I might have super gravel Ultramel blackheads, whatever it is.
That's your theme. Right?
I could do everything. I could do all those cool things through super gravel. And if I'm not inspired to put it in super gravel, then I'm not going to invest. Like that's become my North Star because, like you say, you just get lost in the mix, and then all you're doing is competing with everything else that's already there. And then you get into this price drop thing. I want to be able to say, this is what I'm known for, and that's why I charge for
Go
it.
find another one.
Yeah, and it looks amazing. It checks my contrast pattern and color, and I just want to figure out how to make it better. I know it fades out a little as time goes on, so I want to figure out how to improve that. It excites me, and it was this real aha moment when that clicked, where I was like,
dude. And there's so many of those. Yeah. Like you got super gravel, you got super hurt, super blackhead, white lace, this, that. Like there's and we haven't even touched on recessives at all.
Yeah.
Right. We haven't even touched recessive yet.
Yeah.
So I think you could start to work. I've said this before. You can start to work projects like they're recessives,
right?
But they're codoms or incomplete thumbs, right? Like a super hurricane white lace could be your new clown pied.
Yeah,
right?
that's a double. It's just as much.
It's a double super.
It's mathematically exactly the same. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so now you can go like spot nose super hurricane white lace. Oh, okay, that's your spot nose. Well, clown pied, or your Enchy clown pied, and you can just start to like slowly stack onto that base. And dude, there's an entire world out there of that stuff that no one's doing. Nobody's fucking with it. The only guy that I can say like I can see that is what their like focus is Chris Hernan. Great guy, by the way. But he's like, I'm gonna do like super OD and like scrambler and Enchy and calico and like fucking go down that road. Yeah. And dude, he's owning it. He's taking them and he's fucking running with them. Good for him. I hope he does really well with the stuff.
And his stuff when you see it too. It's the brightest orange. It's like the second coming of Ozzy, man. He's fantastic. And further.
Can't argue with results.
No. And John Daig did it with Azanthic. I thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant. Like at first I was like, how limiting? It's not limiting at all. You could do all that other stuff. You just got to do it under the umbrella of Azanthic. It's brilliant, man. Right. I loved it. Once it clicked in my head, I said, there's the path. People aren't doing it, and we've just scratched the surface of super gravels. Just scratch the surface of super gravels.
We haven't done anything. We haven't done anything. The fact that people are like dropping their pants on all this stuff and they're like, oh, this project's done. It just shows me how like inexperienced they are. When I hear that, I'm always like, first time, huh? Like it's it's kind of like when someone tells me that project's dead, like so was every fucking project that is hot now. Clown Pie at one point was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Then you put the right genes in it, and holy shit. DG Clown, I guess, was never dead because that's relatively new. But Hypo Clown, nobody was doing anything with it. Nobody, still to this day, hardly anyone makes Hypo Clown. Hypo Clowns.
It's been
you see pastels and Enchies in this. Show me Super OD, Red Stripe, Hurricane, Spot Nose Hypo Clowns. Like, get me that type of stuff. Yeah, they're gonna look insane, right? Like, we know that. Right. So why is no one doing that? I think we know that a Super Hurricane Super OD is going to look really good. Like, I think we can all say that's going to look pretty good. Where are those? Hurricane's been around for how long? Show me one.
Right.
And if you have one, okay, now show me two. Yeah. Show me a combo of it. Like, they're not out there. Where the fuck are these combos? Like, make them, people. Like, let's do this. Like, we're all making the same shit. Like, somebody go do it. Let's go,
man. I like, this is the best, like, this is the best pitch to join your Patreon. I was just about to say, man, I want to wake up like just with coffee with you every morning, and we just get all riled up over what's got to get done, and then we go
let's
do
get
it.
This shit done. Right, let's go.
Like, I might just have to go do it. Like I'd be a hypocrite now if I did.
A guy that I gotta give a shout out to that is like sticking to his guns and going with it is Timmy Butte. Butte's balls. Sorry, bro. Yeah? Whatever your Butte's reptiles, Butte's balls, I think it is. Dude, the guy, like, he's like, DG. I'm taking DG. I'm making DG clowns. I'm doing DG pies. Do DG clown pies. Like, he's doing DG.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he does. Like, it's just, and I respect the shit out of that because he's taking what he likes and he's going to show people why. Yeah, this is why I chose DG. And bro, he's making DG clowns, and I'm like, holy fuck! Like the Batman DG clown stuff that he made, I was like, God damn, Timmy, those are dope.
Yeah. Well,
And he
and
could have,
that's
people
that's
saying
like the thing
DG
people
Clown
talk
is
about.
dead. I'm like, bro, I bet you could have sold that 25 times. Like, fuck yeah, I could have, Well, your DG Clowns are dead. His aren't.
But that's that same theme. Just sticking with something long enough, you're
Yeah.
gonna find what works. You're gonna find the gems. You're gonna stumble through all the failures. Like it's like people playing music or running restaurants or breeding snakes or having a podcast. Get out there and do it, because you're gonna figure out what works, and the stuff that doesn't work, you throw away. You don't throw away the animals. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You know. Yeah. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't focus on that. And then you highlight the stuff that does work, and you keep recreating that stuff. And good
It's
for
just
him.
cycle
That's
of ball
cool.
pythons, man. Just finding what works, tweaking it a bit, making it a bit better. Every year you can improve on it. Like, I don't see a downside to this. And yes, it is discouraging, guys. Like, for sure it's discouraging when you see DG Clowns go from 10 grand to 2 grand to 800. But 10 grand was insane. Yeah, so Jeremy's gonna make us all look
Jeremy's
like
okay.
Jeremy. Yeah,
big one upper from
chill
Jeremy.
out, bro. Like, relax. Okay, big dog. No, Jeremy makes crazy shit too, man. Like,
Jeremy's actually the very first person I ever heard. When I very first started, I met Jeremy, and he's the first person I ever heard mention you. He was like, oh man, Will and RCR stuff. And I was like, I don't know what any of that means. And he was like, and I remember to this day, he's the first person I heard about you from.
Oh, word. Jeremy's a beauty.
Yeah.
Jeremy
awesome,
and Jeannie, they're great.
They are great.
But yeah, I hope you hit that. I hope it's fucking insane, and I hope it opens an entire new direction for clown pied. Oh, an entire whole new world of clown pied for you, because that's what we want, and that's what really makes this industry move forward.
That's where those aha things are. And I feel like there's the excitement to hit the double, and then they hit the double, and now it's hard to get to, and then everybody goes, oh, that project's dead because now 99 people have hit the double, but nobody put the extra in it, right?
Yeah.
And then it dips, and then somebody does something like Jeremy's talking about, or throws a cool gene into clown pied that suddenly extends some pattern or breaks through the pied or whatever it is, and then it's exciting again, It's
all about improving, right? Like we get the clown pied. Like, we can use clown pied as an example, because I would say it's been hit fairly hard, right? We take a clown pied that was $5,000 or $6,000, and now it's $500 or $600, and people go, well, clown pied's dead. Well, I will happily pay Jeremy $6,000 for a Super OD Super Hurricane clown pied all day. Like, let's do it. Jeremy, we want a deposit, bro.
Pre-order right now.
Let's go. Yeah. It's a bespoke pairing, bro. Like, that's what I want. So that just tells me that clown pied's not dead. Right. It just tells me that everyone's vision of clown pied might be dead. What I thought, if you thought I'm just going to make Orange Dream Yellow Belly clown pieds and call it a day and buy a Porsche, you were mistaken, right? You're going to have to do a bit more legwork. You might have bought a Camry, but you didn't buy a Porsche with your OD Yellow Belly clown pieds. So it's and 2 chances on DG Tornadoes.
Of course he does. Yeah.
I'm going to just hang them up now. But yeah, and they're Ramries, there you go. Like, how many people are really focusing on allelic combos?
Yeah.
Because they're not easy either. You got to have a copy on either side. And a lot of them, like you don't want to do like spot nose chocolate to spot nose combos, because half the snakes are like,
Yeah.
So you have to be like pretty selective and careful about how you breed those. Supers and allelic combos are the projects are the future. I agree. I think we've had recessive glasses on for the last decade or more, and maybe it's time to look at things with a different lens. I mean, let's be serious. Everyone's kind of doing pretty similar stuff.
Yeah.
Go on Morph Market. There's a lot of the similar projects, but go on Morph Market and find me triple het DG Axanthic tri-stripes. Shouldn't be that hard to find. Tri-stripes and DG Axanthic's been around forever. Where the fuck are those hats?
Yeah.
Where are the Hurricane het tri-stripes, or the lace yellow belly spot nose het puzzles, or where are these combos? No one's doing them, because everybody gets a puzzle and they go, I got to go DG Hypo. I got to do that.
Yeah.
Great. It's going to be an awesome project, but When I
Or
see
straight
the market
just to a visual
going
puzzle.
like this, I'm like, I'm going to buy from you guys and I'm going to go that way.
And I'll
You
make
know,
this.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have all the shit you need to put into your projects.
Nice.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're all going to have the same stuff.
Right. They're going to be the 99 that produce it. And I think we've all been guilty of getting excited about something and
So
feeling
easy,
that there's
bro.
a wave and momentum. Yeah, of
Industry's
course.
a candy shop. Yeah, dude. So easy, bro. I could go on Morph Market and spend $50K easily.
Yeah, I don't even look, man. Like if I don't have the money in my pocket, if I don't know what I'm looking for, and that's true. I just don't look. Unless
easily.
I know what I'm after. Well, let me pay some bills real quick, and then I want to talk to you. I want to switch from the animals to the people, the customers, where you're selling, how you're interacting with the customers. And I've always looked up to you on that angle too. Your community is phenomenal. So I want to dive into that a little bit.
Let's do it. I got like 2 minutes. I'm going to grab another beer.
Oh, you got plenty. Yeah, you got 2 minutes.
Okay,
You're all good,
cool.
man.
Sounds good.
Guys, tonight's brought to you by, like I say, Palm Street. It's a live selling app. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want to apply to sell, there's a link down in the description. I ship with Redline Shipping. I think people know that. I use Redline because of their customer service, their customer experience, their user interface, and their industry knowledge, the institutional knowledge that they have with FedEx. Also, they sell supplies and they have the live humans. You can call and get advice on how to ship, when to ship, what to ship with, all of that. So check out Redline Shipping. You can use the promo code Proper5, get yourself $5 off of, your next shipping label. Shedtesting.com. We were talking earlier. You heard Will and I talking, and Will's take on shed testing. It's part of the game now. You got to do it. I like shedtesting.com. That's Charlie Williams. Charlie is developing his tests. He's researching new tests. He is the guy doing the tests, and he's the customer service. He's all of it. I actually don't know how he pulls it all off, but he does an amazing job at it. If you have any questions, you can talk to Charlie directly. Otherwise, you could go to shedtesting.com, order your sheds. Currently, there's about 40 jeans available, but the newest release is Lace Monarch Hurricane, and I just saw a thumbnail that said that the monsoon test is here. I just realized MON starts Monarch and Monsoon. I should I should clarify that for myself. Lace Monarch and Hurricane are out. Monsoon. I just saw a thumbnail post on Instagram that it's coming. VPI is Xanthic, Wookiee, Sunset, Clown, Puzzle, Ultramel, Zebra, lots more, the full Yellow Belly complex. And if you have questions for Charlie on upcoming jeans, you can always ask him on that, and you can ask him where he's at in the beta testing as well. He might test a shed for you just to see if his data lines up with what you think it is or what it might be. Use a promo code Proper15, get yourself 15% off of 2 orders. You can order as many individual shed tests as you like per order. Portuguese Pythons is Danny and Renee Rocha out in Chino, California. Their work in both the Ultramel project, but also just dark jeans in general, has been fantastic. My Ultramel Pied project ingredients all come from them. And actually, I'll start. The first ones I've gotten from them are going to lay this year. So I'm excited for that. They're working Ultramel with Puzzle, Ultramel with Clown, Ultramel with Pied. Hypo Clown and True Ghost projects as well. Those project ingredients are on their Morph Market now. Fantastic people to work with. Danny shaved his mustache. I can't even promo his mustache anymore, but he could grow it back pretty quick, I'm sure. Check them out. Trevor at Ball Labs is in Aurora, Colorado. Maybe opposite of what Will and I may have been talking about. Trevor likes to be the man with 100 jeans. He likes to work forgotten jeans that haven't been touched. As Will says, where are all these combos? Trevor's out to find them. He's a great guy to work with. I've gotten to work with him several times now out in Colorado at the AARPE shows, and he's been a good member of the Patreon community as well. He's also one of the few licensed rodent breeders in Colorado. He's doing that the right way, and I don't think that those things stop. I think that habits transcend areas, and if he's doing that with his rodents, I know he's doing a great job with his snakes. Check out Ball Labs. Again, that's Trevor in Aurora, Colorado. He is working Puzzle, Ultra Clown, VPI, Xanthic, Tri-Stripe, Monsoon, Zebra, and Sunset. Last but not least is Chris at BNS Reptilia. He's called Reptilia because he has ball pythons, blood pythons, locality, boas, colubrids of all shapes and sizes, Pituophis, if that means anything to you, the bulls and the pines. He will help you with all of that. He's educated on all of it, and he'll make sure that wherever you're at, you're doing things the right way from a legal standpoint with some of those snakes as well. Get in touch with Chris. He's the original sponsor of Proper Royals. I'm so thankful that he's still here. He's my business partner at Tinley, and we do have a couple investment animals together. Somehow, I was about to forget Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. That's Charlie Ryan in New Jersey. If you haven't seen his latest reels, they're fantastic. They're entertaining. He's doing the things you can say about your ball python, but not about your wife series. I'll leave it there, but go check out Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. He's working Kryptons, DG, G-Stripe, Candy Pieds, and Clowns, all overlapping, much in the way that Will and I were discussing, singles, doubles, triples, and I think even some quad ingredients with great codoms in there as well. They're not officially a sponsor on this particular show, but somebody who's always looked out for Proper Royals is Cold Blooded Cafe. My promo code, which is proper 11, now gets you free shipping on any order to over $200 forever. Used to be a one-time code, used to be for a percentage off. Now you spend $200, you get free shipping from Cold Blooded Cafe every time. So go try that out. Proper 11 gets you there. Thank you to the audience, most importantly, and thank you to Will tonight, hanging out with Will Moroz. Will, your Patreon, I think, is, I'm not just saying this because you're here. It's certainly held in the top echelon of the esteem of the community. And maybe like the difference in your Patreon is that like a lot of people say that they're members in other Patreons because, you know, they get a discount or a deal, but people are in yours that it's like a damn lifestyle. Like that's what they talk about. Like
Yeah.
there's a hashtag, it's in all their posts.
Yeah,
you know?
like, dude, it's not a thing without them, right? So it's it's a community, it's a group, it's a RCR Mafia, RCR family, you know, like it's just fun. Like, and that no one takes themselves too seriously. Everyone's kind of joking with each other. We've had a couple episodes where people took a little harshly, but hey, man, when you put too many people in a group, it's gonna happen.
It does happen. That's what you're there for, right? A little refereeing. It's
no, dude. I straight up, I said to both of them, I was like, you guys can both leave. I don't care. Like, if I'm not gonna police grown ass men. Man. Yeah, you guys can't get along in a group chat. Fuck off. Yeah. You know, like realistically. But to be honest, it's great. I really enjoy it. You know, I some days I'm way more active than others. Some months I'm way more active than others. The last month I've barely posted because I don't have that much going on. Yeah. Like it's been quiet. It's a quiet time of year. I'm waiting for eggs. I'm watching everybody else hatch their freaking eggs.
Right.
And everyone in the morning is ripping on me for like, I'm going to have more eggs than Will this year. I was like, oh, come on. You know, like it's just a fun group. Everyone seems to get along pretty well. Lots of people have different opinions, but that's what makes it. I'm glad that people, you know, hold it to a high regard. Nobody takes themselves too seriously, and it's just that's just the way it, kind of like me, you know. It's not that serious. It's just snakes.
What was your inspiration to start it? Because in transparency, I have a Patreon as well. So, but it takes a certain amount of like, dude, it's self-confidence, if not a little bit of ego, to be like, I'll start one, right?
I'll teach you all.
I'll take care of everything, right? Yeah.
No. It was a mixture of things. It was the way we all communicated with each other was through Facebook and Instagram, and it was like I would be talking to this person, but I'd also talk to this person, and I'm also talking to I have 1,000 fucking Instagram messages or 1,000 Facebook messages, just discombobulated. It was always like, but to have everything in one place on a Discord,
right?
And so I was kind of like, I like it. I didn't do the tier thing. I was just like, look, I don't want to have to make content for different tiers and different this and, you know, I don't want to have some people treated differently. Everyone's the same. Everyone is, you know, equal the way this industry should be. Yeah. And regardless of how crazy your collection is, or if you just have a pet pied. It's you're a reptile keeper. Like, come on in.
Yeah.
It's just a spot to hang out, have fun. There's lots of like threads about rodent tips and this and that, and stuff that I don't know fuck all about. Like some guys talking about, oh, I'm thinking about getting some colubrids. Well, then some colubrid guys pipe up. They're like, well, I kept this species and this species, and everyone just kind of helps each other. It's there's a lot of times where I don't even have to answer questions.
Right.
It's Matt from KMB is answering questions, or Corey DeLong is hopping in with his experience, and hey, this is what I would do, blah blah blah. Like that's the community aspect, and that's really what I guess we've tried to foster. And it's just it's honestly, I don't promote it, I don't post about it, it's just completely been word of mouth, and it just started and just built and built and built and built, and it's just been organic, completely organic. Everybody else talks about it, but I
was going to say
anything about it. So
you've done something right. And I know that everybody throws around the word community, but I'm really close. I mean, I've always been a numbers and a spreadsheet guy and a margins and what are my cost of goods? I mean, cause that's the world you live in restaurants, but really I've started to decide that any business can be like focused on building a community. And if you build in a community, you get such a safety net and such a loyalty and such, it's got to be legitimate and genuine, but it's such a better business model than how can I do this a little bit cheaper? How can I do it a penny less than the guy down the street? Like it's so much more inspired too,
Yeah. I don't really focus on cost cutting very much. It's not really like, there's obviously, if I can get a better deal on deli cups, I'll take it,
Sure.
But
yeah.
But when it comes to to people, this industry, as much as it's snakes, it's people. Yeah. Like it's truly, it's relationships. It's not, a lot of it's not what but it's who like in life in general, it's like,
that's right.
And like I gotta say, like the majority of my purchases over the last 3 years have been through that group.
Yeah.
Majority of my sales for the last 3 years have been through that group.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really use Morph Market much, even in this market where people say it's dead. Guys on the Patreon want to work this specific project, and I'm looking for this, and obviously they get a good deal on stuff and such.
Right.
And such. But like, there's times where I have an extra mail and like, hey man, I'm interested in this. Blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna send you this mail. And if it does something really cool, like remember me,
right,
like,
but
I don't know, like I can't give you I don't want to charge you for it, but just like, I'll send it in the next shipment out and breed it, see what happens. And, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But that's, I've done trades with guys on the Patreon. It's just become a, like, I want to say it's like a safety net, not just for me, but for the people in it too. Where I can't speak for them because I don't know for sure, but it feels like it's like a safety net for the people that are in there, where they get to build relationships. If you're a new person, dude, it's hard to be out here. Like you find your little clique, and that's, dude, I really, really advise people to yes, get your close little group of friends, but don't click up like that, because it doesn't really help you long term. If you're clicked up and you have that one guy in the group, it's like, no, that guy, I don't like him. You get that kind of like, it's us versus them, where unless someone has fucked me over, or someone I know personally, and I know for sure.
Yeah, and it happened. That's
exactly.
Not the chatter, but it happened, right?
Exactly. If that happens, then maybe I'm not gonna buy a snake from them or what, such and such. But people say on the Patreon all the time, hey, got this snake in, heads up, this one was a little bit tiny, probably things are fine, but just giving you guys a warning. Or this person sent me a snake, dude, this was a wicked experience, one of the genes didn't prove out for me, but this guy hooked it up and everything was fine anyway. That sort of stuff goes a long way in a word of mouth community,
right?
So that's and I don't know if what we're doing differently than anybody else, but it's just the people. That's really all it comes down to. It's not me. It's the people in it.
I think you've set the standard, and I could see it just in, I mean, tonight, your enthusiasm, your passion, but also your authenticity. And I don't mean this in a negative way. Your simplistic way of breaking things down, man, it becomes consumable. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's like at the end of the day, you got a set of some genes, you got some animals. Let's put them together and chase a dream here. I mean, it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Porsches for everybody, baby.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
and
go.
then everybody gets Porsches. That's right. Then it's all beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, take a moment, Will, where can people find you? If they're not familiar with you, how do they get in touch with you? How do they see your inventory? Where do you sell? How do people give you money?
Any way you want, man. I'll take any way you want to give me money. I'll take it.
Strap it to a pigeon, right?
Yeah. No, Facebook, Instagram are going to be your big ones. And then obviously Patreon is going to be like, if you want to be a little more like behind the scenes, community based. For lists of stuff, I let Patreon comb through everything first. They get absolute first crack at everything. And it's hard to give me money. Yeah, well, so I let Patreon comb through everything first. A lot of it is I would say the majority of the sales are I know this person's after this specific combo,
right?
Or I know that and then when I hatch one, I'll reach out. Hey, bro, just letting you know, I did hit one of these. I am gonna let one go. Are you interested? Generally, they take it, right? Because it's something they need. I learn people's collections. I learn what my customers are working on. I understand. I kind of keep a tally of like, hey, this person's really looking for a lace puzzle combo, or this person's really looking for this combo. And if I can supply that to those people, great, everybody's happy. So that's sort of how it works. And then obviously a lot of stuff goes overseas. Once Patreon is combed through everything and pretty much decided they don't want anything anymore, then I'll send the list overseas. It gets combed off, and then afterwards I put stuff on Morph Market.
Gotcha. I don't want to, man, I could start a whole new episode on the overseas stuff. Is there essentially a broker or a distributor that you use?
A customer
overseas?
Who distributes for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll ask you questions for hours if I.
Yeah. So they send them a list. They buy a big group and then they sell throughout Korea or Japan or wherever they're selling to.
Man, that's we talked about the genes being untapped. There's 9 billion freaking people in the world. We're pretty untapped everywhere. Like, man,
oh yeah, bro. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like there's like one that people like, obviously China, if that opened up.
Yeah.
You think COVID was crazy? Shoo. Yeah, it'd be insane. India, oddly enough, is a spot that's, I think, is going to be a big one. It's a giant population, and of the like new millionaires, India is the fastest growing.
Really? So, interesting metric. Okay.
Yeah. Huh. Not that all the millionaires are buying snakes. Normal people buy snakes too, right? Like it's not just that. But yeah, I think India has potential to be a very big spot. Obviously, if mainland China ever just said like, yeah, send them in, that would be huge. I think South America has a chance to really take off, Brazil, those type of places. I mean, at the end of the day, there's markets out there that we all operate in a little bubble. We're like, I go to Tinley, and only if it didn't sell at Tinley, nobody wanted it. You're like, I put it on Morph Market, nobody wanted it. It's, dude, the people, like, I'm not throwing shade at Morph Market, best website out there, right? But Morph Market still has a very limited view of the world,
of the world industry.
Yeah. Oh, good God, dude! Like, how many people do you think walk into a pet store that buy a ball python know what Morph Market is?
None.
Like 1%, if that, right?
Yep.
So I think we need to start to like try and grow that side of the business. There are collections in the US, multiple collections in the US that are producing 2,500 clutches a season. Where are those snakes going?
All the pet areas.
Everywhere, man. They're all at every season they're making that many clutches. I make 70, and people are like, you produce a lot. Like, dude, I produce nothing.
Walk-in trailers of incubators,
dude,
not just an incubator closet or
incubators
a
the
wine
size
fridge.
of my building.
Yep. They're out there, man.
You know, those collections exist, and so you know, like the industry is just way bigger than people give it credit for, and ball pythons are king in that industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know there's you know, the chondros are getting hot, and lizards are hyped up, and different colubrids, and don't get me wrong, all amazing animals, like a wicked species, and the people that keep them, they're challenging to breed, they're challenging to work. There's a whole set of different challenges with that stuff. But ball pythons are king, through
undefeated,
and never will be touched. Never.
Love it.
You can show me all these other cool animals, all these other, dude. An OD yellow belly pied smokes all that shit to most people. All that shit. You know, it just does. It just does. And it's not just the like visual look, it's the creativity and the like, oh wow, if I take this and I put this, I can make something that looks like that. And it's that like creative aspect, and the whole, you know, that feel.
All those points intersect. It's the pet, it's the dreamer breeder, it's the massive factory breeder. It
does it all. It checks every box. If you're looking for like an engaging snake that's like a little more challenging to keep, and okay, sure, go get yourself a Crebo or whatever you want to keep. But if you are looking for a snake that anyone can pick up, anyone can hold, anyone can work with, makes a great pet, is not hard to keep, maintenance requirements are very low. They come in a bajillion frigging colors. You can make new combinations that we've never even seen before
in the history of the universe, have never existed. Dude, you can make
name me another fucking species that does that. Like you got your boas and your some of the colubrids, hognose, but dude, not to the extent of ball pythons, man. Not to the extent. Ball pythons hold this industry up. Straight up.
You don't have to convince me. I get that promoters want to have a variety, but look what's walking out the door. Look what
go to a US ARC auction.
Yeah.
And what is the percentage of what they earn or what they like is donated come from ball python sales?
Oh, it's
a lot.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah.
A lot of it. Don't get me wrong. There's like, you know, Timberline makes a good bajillion bucks making crickets, and you know, there is this is how you know that this industry is a real thing. When you have your ball python businesses, you have your cricket businesses, you have this, but now you also have caging businesses and businesses, and there are businesses upon business, like offshoots. That tells me the industry is like expanding, growing, getting bigger. Yeah, dude.
It's there.
Find me another reptile that can hang with the ball pythons, bro. They can't. And I like all these other reptiles. I would love to find one that I'm like, dude, this thing is like, are there reptiles that are like more engaging to keep? Yes. I have a red-tailed rat snake. Super awesome snake that keeps you on your toes, wants to fuck you up all the time. But do I want to keep 200 of those? No, not a chance. No. Not a fucking chance. You know, but I do want to like breed ball pythons, and you know, they try new colors and find new combinations and this and that. Dude, you can't find another species that's like that.
No,
they don't exist. And what other species are you going to put in a kid's hand and be like
that's
start that fascination again?
Yeah.
You know, start that whole cycle with kids over again. You know, you put a pied in like a 5-year-old's hand, they're like, wow.
Yeah. Where the rest of it go. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? You know?
Yep. Well, I got to wrap it up for the night. I got to go be a dad and a husband for a little bit, but man, I enjoy you being on the show. I thank you so much. You're generous with your time, and not to push things, but I hope we get to do this sooner than 2 years, but not too soon, so that we can refuel and all that. But you're welcome anytime, man.
Hit me up anytime, bro. Let's do it.
Thank you so much, Will. I appreciate it. Audience, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you've watched this far, take the time to like and subscribe. and maybe even share this episode. There's a ton of, I had a blast. I could keep going for another hour and a half easily. Next week, Garrick DeMeyer, same place, same time. We'll hang out for just a second, man. Before
ask Garrick about those calico lavenders, bro.
Okay. All right. I will.
Hot. Yeah.
I got it on the agenda. If it's got your attention, it's definitely on the agenda.
Yeah, dude, they're nice.
All right, guys. See you next week. We'll stick around just a second.